For this presentation, I decided to focus on an important figure to the history of music education, Paul Rolland. Paul Rolland is a very important figure to music education, but specifically string teaching. He was born in Budapest, Hungary in 1911 and graduated from the Franz Liszt Academy of Music before coming to the U.S. in 1938. Rolland was a violin professor at University of Illinois and the founder of the American String Teachers Association, or ASTA. Rolland is most known for his work with the University of Illinois String Research Project, which is a government-funded research project in the 1960s. So the most important thing to come out of this project was the teaching of action and string playing, which was a book and also had a DVD that went along with it that featured children from the research project. So the research project, its goal was emphasizing the freedom and ease in playing and the use of good motion patterns and freedom from excessive tension. So Rolland really focused on movement and playing, also good beginner techniques and how to start beginning string players, and also focusing on progress throughout the 2 years in the program. The video is broken into segments which really focus in on every muscle and basic movement. He also utilized a lot of games for the students and exposed them early to composers and contemporary music at an early age. For example, Bartók, they used a lot of music from Bartók, and he also brought in composer Stanley Fletcher, who composed a lot of new pieces for the project. Rolland also emphasized that the first years of learning are most important in pedagogy, and the project again went through about the first 2 years of these beginning students' experience on violin. So this DVD is broken into 14 segments, beginning with Young Violinist in Action, Principles of Motion and String Playing, Rhythm Training, Establishing the Violin Hold, Playing in the Middle of the Bow, Principles of Left Hand Finger Action, Establishing Left Hand and Finger Movement, Extending the Bow Stroke, Developing Finger Movements and Basic Shifting Movements, Bouncing the Bow, which includes the martellet and staccato bow strokes, Developing Flexibility, First Steps in Vibrato Training, Sustained and détaché bowings, and lastly remedial training. So focusing on the first segment of the video, Young Violinist in Action, this is kind of an overview of the whole DVD and project, so it kind of goes through each segment and gives a little bit of information on that. So the first segment they talk about in the video is open string and upper octaves. So this is a good foundation for intonation and hand position for violinists. They would practice finding the same note on their string, so maybe take an open D string and then finding the octave on a higher string or lower string. The next topic they talk about is flying pizzicato and movements. So pizzicato on strings is where you pluck the string, and then for flying pizzicato, they would follow through. So you'd pluck and then go in a circle and focus on the follow through in the bow arm. This helps with freedom of movement, the arm following through by making a wide arc or circle, and also helps just develop flexibility and also working on that pizzicato. The next topic they talk about is natural harmonic and shifting to harmonics. This develops left hand freedom and also with shifting, and they actually had an exercise where they said the students sounded like little birds because they would sound like the harmonics higher pitched and they sound like birds, and all the students playing at once and like all these little birds chirping. It was kind of fun to watch and listen to. The next topic they talk about is contemporary literature for early strings instruction. Again, he brought in composer Stanley Fletcher, who worked a lot on the project, and this also focused on development of musicality in the students and had them, aside from just playing these basic techniques or basic exercises, they were applying them to actual literature. The next topic they focus on is vibrato movements in rudimentary form. As you can see in the video, these young students already have very well-developed vibrato technique. It's introduced early and can be worked on also with these harmonic shifting exercises. The next topic they focus on is rhythmic body movements. This is balanced movement incorporated into exercises, such as bending knees, swaying, they might bob their head up and down, they could even shout. An exercise they also did was they had a few students playing in the center and the rest of the students would walk around them in a circle. Just kind of interesting. Can also focus on developing more, again, musicality and focusing on independence of parts. Also, if you might have students doing different movements or playing maybe pizzicato, another student bowing, and then also incorporating different body movements along with that. The next topic the video talks about is lifted bows and two contemporary pieces. Again, they include more pieces by Stanley Fletcher, and they focus on a flexible bow arm as a foundation for spiccato, which is a bouncing off the string bow stroke. The last topic the video covers is left hand position for whole tone patterns. She's again focusing on setting up that left hand for violinist, and Fletcher encouraged the first finger to be pointed back and the fourth finger to be reaching forward to develop that hand shape. So going back to the project goal of focusing on the ease of playing, incorporation of movement, emotion, and freedom from excessive tension, Rolland incorporated a lot of movement in his playing. He had the students moving around, but also he was very thorough in covering all these basic techniques for string pedagogy, and he is a very important figure for string pedagogy, but also to music education in general because of his development of string teaching techniques.